Well, look who has joined us in the background. Yes, it is Humpy the dog. Silas has decided it is time to make his usual cameo appearance by humping my blankets. Good times, good times. All right, I hope you did your class activity and you took the healthy eating quiz and got a sense of your eating habits. And now we're going to get into some material. So let's talk about food addiction. There is, as you would imagine, a lot of debate over the concept of food addiction. When it comes to things like food and sex, things that are in our evolutionary history, survival necessities, right? We need to eat to survive. We need to have sex to pass on our genes and to keep our species going. It is difficult for folks to conceptualize that things that are a part of our natural requirements for living could nonetheless become what we would refer to as addictions. It's easier to conceptualize something like alcohol or cocaine addiction because these aren't things we need to survive. So the question is it possible to develop an unhealthy fixation on things like food and sex and even exercise, which we need to stay healthy? Is it possible that something that is a natural part of our living could nonetheless become an unhealthy, addictive process? That's sort of the heart of the debate about things that are not substance or alcohol oriented when we talk about addiction. Now, the food addiction issue is very much tied up into the obesity epidemic, as it's called, the obesity epidemic. So one thing we know is that obesity has become a major health burden. It's considered one of the biggest problems in terms of public health, particularly in the US, but also worldwide. Obesity has a very large social and economic impact. And the reason for this is because obesity is a risk factor for multiple chronic diseases. And these chronic diseases put people at risk for early mortality, and it also creates an economic burden because individuals are needing health care and intervention for a variety of illnesses associated with obesity, including but not limited to hypertension or high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, and diabetes. These are three big ones that are associated with obesity, but certainly not the only ones that are associated with obesity. And of course, there is a grand stigma socially associated with obesity, particularly in the United States and other Western cultures. And that creates psychological problems such as depression, anxiety, and other issues that, again, can increase economic burden by requiring individuals to seek psychiatric care. Excessive body weight has been estimated to account for 16% of the global burden of disease, according to the World Health Organization estimates over 600 million adults. Wrap your head around that. 600 million adults worldwide are considered to be clinically obese. Clinically obese. So let's move on to the next slide.